Hey there, Sean Kosofsky here, the Nonprofit Fixer with Mind the Gap Consulting and the Nonprofit Fixer YouTube channel. I just really wanted to record this quick video. It's a little longer than the others, but it has to deal with imposter syndrome, something I'm really passionate about, and I have found many executive directors are struggling with and many other nonprofit leaders are struggling with. So today's topic is 6 mindset shifts you can use to conquer and slay imposter syndrome. Really quickly, in the nonprofit space, we have a number of syndromes. So one is called founder syndrome, and that is not the same as this. Founder syndrome is really something that has to do with a creator or founder of a nonprofit still being there after many years and either being resistant to change or being sort of handling things in a very particular way that others might find difficult. That's founder syndrome. Imposter syndrome is when you believe that you are not actually qualified for the role you're in and that others might discover you or find you out. So it is a limiting mindset that helps and it really hurts people with their confidence level in nonprofits. This works in the business world, this works in government, any professional realm. The higher you go up in leadership or specifics or roles that are highly technical or very specific to a very particular field, the more you can feel like you're not qualified for it. But again, it deals with every kind of role and every kind of organization and every kind of industry. So without any more delay, we'll dive in to the 6 mindset shifts that I believe can help you slay imposter syndrome. Please share this with other people. This is pervasive across our sector, and it could be one of the most powerful limiting things for nonprofit leaders is being held back by these mindset challenges. The good thing about mindset challenges is that they are free and sometimes quick to address. It's just about taking a different perspective. So first mindset shift that we're going to tackle today is that nonprofit leaders are entrepreneurs. So sometimes we undercut our own abilities and talents and resumes and bios and abilities because we don't think of ourselves as entrepreneurs. And entrepreneurs are held up to this level in our society, like, oh, they just start businesses and they're successful. But really, entrepreneurs are people who are unencumbered by what they don't have today and are still able to make something great tomorrow. Most nonprofit leaders that I know of fit this definition to a T. So nonprofit leaders are very frequently working with almost nothing, funding, tools, staff, anything, and they see a future ahead. They see what can be changed in society and they go off and do it. When you think of nonprofit leaders as entrepreneurial and as entrepreneurs, you can really step into your confidence about what it is you're accomplishing in the world. So don't limit yourself. Don't think of yourself as some scrappy little nonprofit that doesn't have the same kind of business acumen that entrepreneurs do. You are really making a penny do $100 worth of work, and you're in some ways solving problems that they never will in the business world. Mindset shift number 2. Who cares if someone else can do the job better? Sometimes when we limit ourselves or think, oh, well, there's probably a better fit for this job. There's 8 billion people on earth. Of course, there's probably someone out there who could do the job better than you. That's not the point. The point is they didn't apply for the job. You did. You got the job. This is your job. One of the most important things I teach people is you don't have to interview for the job you already have. No one needs to make you audition or interview or perform or dance, right, for the role you already have. Stand in your confidence, stand in your truth. You have the skills, education, training, instinct to do this job. So who cares if someone else could do it better? The point is, even if it's someone in the next cubicle, the point is you were tasked with doing this job. So do your best, and that's all you can do. And I'm sure it's going to be great. The third mindset shift to help slay imposter syndrome is the superego and negative self-talk. I don't want to get into all the psychology of Freud and whether his theories work or not, but in a nutshell, the id, ego, and superego play these really interesting roles in our personality. And if you believe in these theories, and I'm not saying I do, but as a metaphor, they are sort of helpful as a construct, that the ego is this part of our body and brain and sort of like personality that tells us we can do anything. Like, oh, we're great, we can do almost anything. Leap off this building, we can fly, we can lead this organization. But the superego sort of helps to rein us back. The superego basically says, no, you can't do those things. And this balance, this give and take, this push and pull between ego and superego keeps us in a level of stasis, right? So, but the problem with the superego is that it can actually lead to negative self-talk. That in our brain, this little voice saying, oh, you're not good at this, or you can't really do that. Just know that that is something everyone faces, that everyone encounters, and that you can just like brush it aside. Or you can just have comfort in knowing that you're not the only one having that negative self-talk. It happens to all of us. Push it away. Focus not just on the ego, but focus on a balance and stasis. Yes, this is going to be hard. Maybe I'm not totally equipped to do this, but I'm up to the challenge, right? So go for it. Mindset shift number 4, confidence, not comparison. Don't compare yourself to others. It's a losing game. Sure, Steve down the road or Sally in that other nonprofit might do things better than you. And it's okay to say, I really want to know bookkeeping the way Sally does, or I really want to make sure I understand how to hire and fire effectively like Steve does. But constantly comparing yourself to other people in a way that diminishes your power, skill, education, instinct, or abilities is really not helpful. It's not a winning game at all. Don't do it. Stop comparing yourself to others. Every other leader and every other organization has a different set of constraints and opportunities and advantages, and you can't ever be exactly in that same situation. So just look ahead. What does my organization and my abilities equip me to do? And just do your best with that. But stop comparing yourself to others. It will only lead to feeling less than other leaders. And again, other people are probably looking at you wondering, oh, I wish I could do what that person could do. So it's a game that just can't be won. Mindset shift number 5. Emergent strategy. There's a lot about this topic. In recent years, there have even been books about emergent strategy that are a little bit different than what I'm talking about here. This is an older idea of emergent strategy, which is this idea that you can't always know what's going to happen ahead of you. So the rules of the game, the terrain ahead, the legislative environment, the issue environment, the funding environment, all of these things that are happening ahead can't be controlled. It's okay to be to let the sort of strategy for your organization, your mission, the programmatic work, what gala you're going to do next year, let all that stuff sort of unfold in front of you. Letting the strategy emerge and sort of like become something that makes sense as you do the work, that is an okay strategy. That is a deliberate strategy to watch and wait. The world is changing faster than it has ever changed. And the terrain, especially for advocacy organizations, is changing rapidly. So having these 5-year plans can sometimes really inhibit you and inhibit your organization. So don't feel like, oh, I don't have the wisdom or the plan or the big fancy strategic plan or anything to do what I need to do for my organization. Don't be held back that somehow you're limited by not having laser-focused planning tools or big consultants, right? Emergent strategy can actually be a thing that you decide to use. It doesn't mean you should be making up things as you go along all the time forever. You want to have strategy and goals and objectives and making tough decisions about where your organization is going to move. But sometimes it is by design that you say, let's watch and wait, and the truth will show itself. We'll know which path to take in this part of the organization through an emergent strategy. That's okay. Some folks feel like that is sloppy or lazy. I don't believe that's true at all. Much has been written about emergent strategy. So in terms of imposter syndrome, don't worry if you are making things up as you go. Sometimes that is indeed what keeps organizations agile. Mindset shift number 6, the final one. It's okay to be small. I've written about this a lot. Everyone talks about scale and size and getting bigger, but you don't need to be big to be effective. As a person, as a company, as an organization, all you need to do is be good, be excellent. It's okay to do 3 things well instead of 20 things poorly, or 3 things well instead of 20 things at B+ level. You want to be excellent at a few things. Evolution has always benefited smaller creatures instead of larger creatures. And I love this quote. My friend Ryan told me about it, and I've always thought about it ever since. Essentially, over time, small organizations, because they niche down and do a few things well, whether it's local or national, they can really avoid the costs of a big, central, expensive, bloated core of staff and technology and all of these other offices and things like that. But small can be amazing and powerful and effective in the ecosystem of organizations. So don't feel inhibited or held back that my organization's puny or small, or we have a small budget, we can't accomplish a lot. Instead, say, wow, we do a few things well, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay that we will never have more than 3 staff. I'm going to instead invest extra dollars in sustainability and long-term savings instead of growth. That's okay. That is an actual strategy. So these are just a couple of the tips to help lean in and slay imposter syndrome. Really stand in the fact that we are entrepreneurs and we are solving problems, that we care about our own ability to get the job done. We don't care about whether someone else can get the job done. We also can push away the negative superego, negative self-talk. And we can have confidence in what we can do instead of comparing ourselves to others. And invest in emergent strategy. Lean into the fact that the way forward will show itself as you move forward. And finally, that it's okay to be small. So these are just 6 of the mindset shift tips. There are many more, but I wanted to keep this kind of brief today. But good luck to you in combating imposter syndrome. Tell your friends, tell anyone else who you think is confronting this, and have them watch this video or check out the tools. Check out the links down below toward the longer blog post that I wrote about this, where there's more information. Thank you so much. Take care.